today I'm here to film a video that is really hard to like title and explain. Like, it's not really that hard to explain. Like, basically what I want to talk about today is kind of like what books I would keep in my life if there was an emergency and I wasn't able to keep all of my books. What's been happening lately in Australia is there is just a very high amount of bushfires which is burning through the Australian landscape and killing wildlife and burning houses and people losing their homes, and everything is just really bad. And there was a really scary point a couple of weeks ago where I actually did have to evacuate from my home while my parents stayed to defend the house, and luckily for us there was a wind change that stopped us from having anything come through to us, and we have been very lucky with weather lately. But I actually had to pack up valuables. I had to pack up stuff that was important to me. I had to try and grab things that I wanted to save in case we lost everything, and it was a very scary thing. And it's so hard to know that so many people have gone through this and have lost everything when we've been so lucky, which, like, I feel so guilty about that because it's unfair that like so many people are losing everything while we were okay. But what I want to mention in this video, guys, is I was able to pack a crate of books to take with me, and this was all I was allowed. So all these books that are on my shelf here and over here were still at the house and would have been burnt if I lost it. I actually legitimately had to make the decision to choose what, like, 30 to 40 books I would save if I didn't have any choice, and this is a very scary decision. But I also thought you guys would be intrigued to know what books I saved, because a few of these I just chucked in because I wanted to fill the whole crate, but also there is books in here that are absolutely my favorites. They're very important to me, and just I thought you guys would be intrigued to know this wasn't just a, oh, if this happened. This is like a legitly, I was gone with all my stuff, with my crate of books, being scared for my life, and we got out of it okay, and there is a lot less stress now over it. But I thought this would just be a really interesting video for you guys, just to know what books I would save if there was a fire. Oh my god, that crate was heavy on my lap. But taking that lid off and I'm ready. And also, guys, too, I dyed my hair, so I actually have red hair again. So I had the blue a couple of weeks ago. It pretty much washed out and didn't really take, so that was gone straight away. But it is very vibrant now, and it's so much more vibrant than it's been in the past, and I am loving it. I also will try and get through these quickly because there is a lot in here. Like, I may mention a little bit why I wanted to keep it, but really I will try and get through them quickly. The first thing I've got is Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Of course I was going to save this book. This was one of my favorite books of last year, and it just means so much to me, and I needed to keep it. Well Met by Jen DeLuca is another one that I really loved last year, but I just felt like I couldn't part with this. God, my packing skills to get these in here was like really intense because there are so many books slid down the side here. So I also would save Sadie by Courtney Summers because, again, this is another book that I just thoroughly enjoyed and I didn't want to lose. I should probably stop saying I didn't want to lose them because I literally mean that for all of them. I realized I grabbed Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell because I thought this was signed, but I actually have a signed bookplate that I put in Carry On, so I actually grabbed the wrong book, but this was still pretty enjoyable. I saved The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, and I only grabbed the first book because, again, this is another series I really liked, and I couldn't save the sequels, but the first book is one that I could grab, which would be really good. I've also got A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Chimera because, again, this was my favorite book of last year, and because it's the Fairy Loot exclusive, I had the signature in it, so a lot of the books too that I grabbed were special editions that I couldn't get replaced, and this one's got the really shiny spine, so that is another thing that I don't want to lose them for. I grabbed my two favorite Taylor Jenkins Reid's books, so I've got The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Maybe in Another Life. I own 5 of them, but I only grabbed these 2 because they're the most important to me, and it's just the ode to fandomness, so I needed this one. And I also grabbed Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins because this book just means a lot to me, and again, I didn't grab the first or the third book because this is the only one in the companion that was really important to me. I had to grab Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor because, again, this is another book that I just thoroughly loved and I didn't want to lose it. I keep saying it. I should get shot every time I say I didn't want to lose it. And I also grabbed Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor because these are like really special editions, and I like didn't think I'd be able to replace them because only the first prints of these books got the colored spines. So this was more of a like, I don't think I could replace this, so I better grab these. I had to grab the first book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series by Kerry Maniscalco because, again, it's just so important to me. I love this character, and like, yes, I don't grab the sequels, but the first book is so important. Like, for me, if this pile of books was literally all I had to my book collection, having some of these first books would have made me feel a lot better about it, even though so much stuff would have been lost, like so much. I only grabbed 2 Cassandra Clare books, so I got my edition of City of Bones, which is the first book of hers that I ever read, and even though these covers really aren't that great, I had to grab this first one because it's what started me on the journey of Cassandra Clare. But I also had to grab Clockwork Angel because I also love Tessa Gray, so it's decisions. There's like 40 million books that I could grab to. I also grabbed The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I just get a strong sense of loving this book whenever I think about it, that when I was looking at my shelves, I just couldn't not bring it because it's just so important to me. I had to grab Reign of the Fallen by A.G. Gorgon because, again, this is my favorite book of 2018 and I really enjoy this book, and I also need more people to read it. I honestly need so many people to read it, but this is another one that when I was looking, I just couldn't not bring it. And of course, one of my faves, The Rough and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. Like, I'm pretty sure I grabbed all of my favorite books for the past 5 years because, like, I just couldn't lose them. So this is one that I love so much. I have so many Renee Ahdieh books I actually have to read. That's just a mental note to myself. I really need to get onto that. So I couldn't do it. I couldn't lose Scythe and Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman because these books were just amazing. I just feel like I would have been so sad if I didn't have these two. And this is the only one where I actually grabbed the sequel because Thunderhead was so good. I really need to get the Toll. Again, another tangent here, but still, like, I just couldn't not have these books with me. I also grabbed Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Chow because I just wanted to read this book for so long, and when I finally got to it, it was just such an enjoyable read that, again, looking at the shelves, I was like, no, I can't do this to myself. I can't do this. I also grabbed Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nagan, and the main reason for this is because it's irreplaceable, because it's a Fairy Loot edition and it is signed. So, like, this isn't my favorite book ever. Like, I kind of, like, it was an okay book, but again, it was one that you really couldn't get replaced. I bet you guys knew it was coming, but The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, of course, this book would be coming with me because it is my favorite book of all time. So it has to be with me. It was just down the bottom of the crate. And of course, all the Sarah J Maas books were down the bottom of the crate as well. So I had to grab Throne to Glass because it's the first book in the series and very important to me. But I also grabbed Kingdom of Ash because I have my ticket from when I saw Sarah J Maas glued in there. And I got this book in the YA Chronicles, and just it has a lot of memories for me, especially with seeing her live. So I just couldn't lose this book. And I had to grab A Court of Mist and Fury because this is, again, another one of my most favorite books of the world. And I just couldn't deal if I didn't have this. And this is the one that I read the first time. So yes, so many of these could be replaced, but they just don't have the same feeling of when you first read them, if you know what I mean. And the last book I grabbed was Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. And again, this is another irreplaceable one because it's signed by both authors, and I did get it in a book box, and, like, I don't know, they probably would sign my book again if I had to rebuy it, but I just couldn't. Like, this is the first one I grabbed because I just knew this was very irreplaceable to me, and I did really enjoy this book. So counting out the books that I had there, I only had 28 actually, so I was under the total that Marie Kondo would ask of you if you were to cull all of your books. So basically, I feel like what I'm going to title this as is, if I had to cull my books down to 28, that's probably what I will go with, because that is how many books I had. Obviously, I couldn't count it while they were in the box. I'm here sitting there like, oh, it's probably like 30 to 40. But this is a surprisingly large crate to fit books in, but it only fit 28. So I am now able to answer this question that I would bring 28 books with me if I had no choice, and just, it's very scary. It's very scary, and I try to get through this quick, but I also feel like I went through it too quickly now. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video concept and idea, and just, yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!